Come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hi. I am exhausted, but in like an energized way. I don't know what that's called. Maybe it's drugs. I don't really know. Test. All right, microphone is working. Just check it, because before I go on a tangent and end up talking to nobody because you can't hear me. Let's see, what do we got in chat? Good amount of you already. Damn. War Dog, Digi. Too Wicked, what's up? Wife had chest burn, lightheaded and dizzy, but she seems a lot better now, just dealing with the long-ass wait times now. Yeah, good luck there, Sarah. Hope everything goes well. Yeah, ER sucks, man. Luckily, the last time I was in the ER, I was unconscious as fuck, so it wasn't my problem, at least the wait time. Good. Yeah, I admittedly, I had to put a little bit of work into the RS50, getting that to feel good in PMR, but the Simagic one is mint. It's been mint the whole time, though. That's part of why my, what do you call it? Force feedback compliments of this game have been maybe a little bit biased towards positivity because I've had such good experiences with it. Let me get a lobby going. Well, yeah, it seems the new GT3s have created a bit of a divide in the game. I mean, there was already a divide, let's face it. This game's the most divisive car game I think I've ever seen. And considering 57 people are playing it in total, that's obviously a joke, calm down. Divides are not what you want. Yeah, I have to pull them up. Here's the thing, War Dog. I don't know how you like your settings, but I like my shit very aggressive. I want to fight the wheel the whole time. And an RS50 is harder to do because it's 8 Newton meters. Get Sebring going. I'm gonna have to run to the bathroom here in a minute. Poorly timed. I do like that we can leave damage on, though, now. At least in the time that I've played, anyway. And it isn't nearly as punishing from, like, a netcode-y, bullshitty, you know, reason as before. I'm gonna go 15 minutes just to get to the first lobby, get some people in here. Get the lobby up. All right, boys, lobby's up. I'm gonna just jump in and wait for you guys. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Had to step away. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty today. I missed the AMA. I had to tune some bikes, as you guys might or may not have seen on stream today. I was in the garage all day. How many does it show in the lobby? Oh, we already got bugs. Is there already a problem here? We got Sora, me, Trev, Luna, Too Wicked, War Dog. It looks like it might just be MTs having issues. Oh, let me put up my leaderboard. What happens when you, when is it kicking you out, MT? The only reason the leaderboard is somewhat useful for me right now is that it tells me who's on track. I respect your opinion, George. I agree and disagree. There's no doubt that the barrier of entry being much lower on console has made there be some level of, you know, worse driving to a degree. Let me lower this music a bit here. But at the same time, there are really good drivers on console as well. And they shouldn't be exempt from racing with the best of the best. The best guys are usually on PC because it's where all the sims are. My tires are probably ice cold right now, right? Yeah. Just return to pit. No point. Why waste a lap warming them up when I can warm them up by doing that? What's going on, Turtle Wax? Try resetting your game and or console, MT. Or just blame Sora. So I do have a poll going up right now. Where the GT3s, I'm not really paying attention when I'm driving. I'm just kind of multitasking here, so ignore the... Basically, were the GT3s too fast before this update? You did a restart, now you're in? All right, good. Yeah, at the end of the day, first rule of thumb when it comes to troubleshooting is the typical, you know, calling up tech support. Did you unplug it and plug it back in? Now, that unfortunately, they ask that question. It makes you feel dumb, but they ask that question for a reason. Because a lot of times, it fixes the problem. Just restarting whatever it is you're doing. Hey, no tomorrow's in. I gotta use my gloves. This wheel, the rubber grip, which are really, really, really grippy, is actually like destroying my hands. Probably not the best place to stop. But yeah, Join in Progress is like, makes this so much easier from a streaming standpoint. Just start the lobby. I mean, I waited, but start the lobby and then start the stream, you know? What's going on, Philip? It's a good point. I might end up in the ER with you. Yeah, collisions are definitely working better, George. Here's the thing. This update very much did fix or make better a lot of the really, really bad issues with the game. The problem is it seems a lot of stupid bugs came with it. I've officially fully reported and got reproduced the double, or the, your reverse gear now having an overdrive on top of it. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but here, I'll pull over and prove it. I don't really care at all about this qualifying shit. So if you guys listen closely. I'll pause the music. So listen. First gear. Neutral. Reverse. And then you ready? Reverse again. And my wheel, I'm not even kidding, folks. Here, I want to prove this to you. Because I've told everybody about this.
You're overdriving, mate. Your tires are getting too hot. You're going to need to back off a bit for a lap or two.
That might be a bug.
Right back in the window.
That might be a bug right there. Notice that my front left tire is going nuclear, and I'm doing nothing. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm still in reverse. See? See? And now it's cooling back down. What did I park in? Liquid hot magma? Yeah, tire's broken. That is a bug. That is a bug. I'm not the first one to report that one. But see, look what the front left tire's doing. There's a patch of it that's basically nuclear right now. At least cooling down. Yeah, there's no doubt there's some bugs. But anyway, look at this one. This is my favorite bug so far. Come on. Focus up. See how it says -2? That's my overdrive reverse gear. And it's like that on all the GT3s now. But yeah, there's a ton of little bugs that came along. Yeah, front tire definitely went to Chernobyl. It did. But this is what I'm saying. The game, this update brought a lot of this mandatory, necessary, great features for the game. But it introduced a lot of just, like, what feels like completely unplay-tested bugs. And I have a very firm middle ground on the playtesting right now with this game. You have the consumer side that's basically, what are you guys doing? Are you not testing your game? Which I fully understand, because this is the first update where I'm like, how did this happen with this many bugs? But on the other hand, I know why it happened. Not enough staff. Okay. Game hasn't done very well financially so far. Can't exactly hire people. Right? Well, how do you fix that? And I've shouted this from every rooftop possible. It would please so many people too. You already did it once. You didn't do it well, but you did it once. FDP. Factory driver program. Get all of the people that want to play this game, that want this game to be good. NDA them out of their goddamn minds and make them test this game. Well, not make them. Ask them to test this game. The thing is, you would be shocked how many people would run to go do that for free to help find bugs. The amount of bugs we found randomly throughout the day and the day one didn't take very long to find the bugs. The point is that is the solution for all accounts here. You'll keep your consumer base happy because you'll include them in helping. Let's face it, the consumer always wants to be involved more in the product that they want to consume. You know, that just makes them feel better about themselves, right? So you get early. Your benefit is that you get early access to the game to see what's cooking, and you get to help make the delivery of that to the public that much better. Straight 4 gets help, and it gets done for free. For me, as someone who doesn't, from a business scale, I am tiny in comparison to even straight. I'm self-employed. I am only one person. I am a sole proprietor of my business. Yo, the only reason I would kill to have interns working for me. Like, a secretary, for example. A secretary alone would make my life amazing. But I can't afford to pay them. And no one's going to work for me for free. People will do this shit for free. And they'll love it, and they'll thank you for it. All I'm saying. Because you have to understand, if people are writing code, they can't be playtesting. If they're playtesting, they're not writing code. And it's same for everything. One person can only do one thing at a time. Yeah. I'm not in my Discord at the moment. There might be people in there. I don't know if I'm going to get in my Discord tonight. Undecided. I'm a little exhausted from being in the garage all day without climate control, and then I have to do it all day again tomorrow, and then again on Saturday. So I'm not complaining because, you know, I mean, you guys watched the stream today. Fun fact, the first bike we worked on, or tuned, he just had the motor worked on for free by someone trying to help him out, and the bike was, he told me the bike was breaking up on the top end. And I'm like, all right, well, if you did motor work, I mean, it's a possibility it needs some fuel. It's either going to be really lean or really, really, really rich, and it's breaking up top. Well, air fuel was pretty solid. But anyway, back to the game. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming from the garage during the day again, and then I might do this again tomorrow night. The nighttime ones, I'm going to keep probably a little bit shorter for my own mental capacity, because I'm sure the game will frustrate me. I do feel like the aura in the air and the atmosphere, we're going to get a hotfix. So hopefully, you know, that arrives sooner than later, because we need some of these stupid bugs fixed. Like, I mean, like bugs that I have never, ever, ever seen in this game came out of nowhere. Normally, like, when they introduce a bug, it's a very, very small bug that relates to another bug, and then it goes away quickly. This one is bugs in areas where I'm like, how do we have a double reverse? How do we have an overdrive gear in reverse? I'm puzzled by that one, honestly. That's the biggest, like, wait, why? No, I agree, there's nothing ever wrong with hotfixes. I am super pro hotfix. Oh! I was gonna go around him, and then he went wide. Yes. Are hotfixes a bad look by comparison to executing a perfect patch without having to use a hotfix? Sure. But what's worse than that? Having a patch come out and then not have a hotfix for a month and just fix any bugs with the next major patch. You can't do that either. So hotfixes are welcome always. Yeah, well, the consoles is what holds back the hotfixes. LMU, Tuesday. Seriously, like, it's crazy to me. I look at LMU when it comes to their, so this is something that LMU completely obliterates Project Motor Racing with, and it has nothing to do with the gameplay, this particular thing. They talk about their updates a month in advance, what's coming, right? They update the people. And then, when they release an update and it creates problems, they immediately release hotfixes. Now, they don't have console support. Oh, you're going for a ride. So they can get the hotfixes and patches out easier in general. The consoles really, really slow down the patch process. But like LMU released their big major update on Tuesday. Wednesday happened, they released a hotfix. Today happened, they released their second hotfix. Hotfixes are a good thing. I will say this. So, in regards to going back to the GT3 stuff, because I know that right now the community is very divided. I know, and we're going to touch on Austin's video that he put up, because that was like the main source of ammunition for a lot of people. Because Austin's not a dumbass. I can tell he knows his shit when it comes to actual cars, unlike a lot of people who talk about cars that have never actually done anything with cars. Hey, here he is, Austin, right there. I figured he was listening. But he brings up a lot of good points, and there are things I disagree with too, but he does bring up a lot of good points. As far as the GT3s go, are they perfect? No, I don't think they're perfect. But I also don't think GT3s are perfect in any sim that I drive. That would be the point of defense I would use there. However, this particular track, in my opinion, GT3s were too fast. Honestly, fuck that Discord. That Discord is... Dude, that Discord is the definition of politics. Right and left and no conversation in the middle, where all the actual work gets done. How do you make progress when two opposing opinions meet in the middle and both compromise? That's progress. That doesn't happen in Discords or on the internet in general. Everybody's right, no one's wrong. Oh, you're going for a ride. Well, I will say this, Grumps. This is another... I'm older, so I see... You come in hot and heavy. You do that. You might not see you do that. I don't know how old you are. You're not wrong about your points. They are problems, and you are telling them, but it's how you come in swinging that could be cooled down a little bit. Because you have to understand, the Discord... while it is this fictional place that doesn't actually exist anywhere on a map, is still technically their house. So, the best analogy I can use is, if you knocked on my front door of my house, I opened the door, you took a step inside, and it just started, like, flapping your gums at me, you might be saying fact, but if you're being aggressive, get the fuck out of my house. Now, if you approach me with a little bit of, like, tact, you might be able to bend my ear a little bit, you know? So, that's just my personal little advice there. Nothing... Like I said, I don't disagree with you about the problems. I don't. I very much agree with that sentiment about the Discord, Austin. I don't like the Discord idea. I think the website should be more active. Because I force everybody, like, with my business is tiny as shit. People send me messages on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm like, and I just ignore them. And I just constantly spam, if you want to reach out for business or anything related to business, contact me through the website. It pisses people off, but that's how you contact me. And I don't think a Discord is the way. And I know that the industry in general is, like, moving towards Discord, and I don't like Discord. Maybe I'm getting older here, and for me, Discord is purely just like a, you know, a comms thing, but like a comms, like a game comms thing, not like, you know, business communications. But I like, now hear me out though, I do like the AMA stuff. I like that side of what they're going to use Discord for. But it shouldn't be the main source of, again, bug reports, things like that. Maybe it siphons it easier. You know, I'm not sitting here and pretending I'm a web designer, because I'm not. But, yeah. Anyway, I've never liked the Discord. I've been very vocal to them directly about that. Some agree, some disagree, but ultimately, it's just the way it is. And that's what you gotta tolerate, you know? The good thing is, though, I will say, some of the devs, some of the guys that do have a little bit of pull are at least active in there. I do like seeing Aris in there, admittedly. think he needed to pull himself out a little bit because it sounded like for a minute there he was starting to get a little heated, which I would too. I would not be able to handle that much. I didn't watch the AMA. Like I said, I was tuning today, so I didn't have an opportunity. I have no idea what was said. And of course, because it was on Discord, I can't see it until a video comes out on YouTube. Live streams on YouTube are the way to do things. You know, it goes live, it gets posted as a VOD, watch it back, you're done. You get your video and your live stream all at the same time. But, you know, call that growing pains or whatever. At least they're doing it, which I do like that they do them. You know, there's a lot of things that the guys at Straight 4 are doing that is very unique to them, that is a positive. But there are some other things that I'm like, I just don't understand it. Alright, I would cool it, Grumps, but yeah, let's keep the, you know, Nazis out of chat. I know you're not calling anybody that, but I'm just saying, let's not go down, let's not turn my chat into the Discord, you know? Let's just have cool, calm, and collected conversation. Because the last thing I want to do is rage quit PMR and streaming tonight. But, so anyway, back to the GT3s. I personally have never driven... This is the car I drive around all the time, and I do most of my judgment in this car. Now, have I ever driven a Mustang GT3? Nope. Have I ever driven, or will I ever drive a Mustang GT3? Nope. But my only reference point is that I've driven a boatload of fucking Mustangs in all sorts of trims. Different generations, different genres of racing. And I personally feel like this particular Mustang, not talking about the Lambo, not talking about the Mercedes, not talking about any of those other cars, I'm talking about the Mustang. And that is my point of reference. That's why I use it. Feels more like a Mustang now than it did before, and it feels more like a Mustang does in any other sim. Mustangs are very pointy and very oversteery. I mean, like I referenced yesterday, there's a reason why Mustangs crashing into crowds are a meme. You know? And I can assure you, every single one of those S550s and newer Mustangs, even out of the box on street tires, handle phenomenally. Yet, people go sideways and crash into crowds all the time. To the point where it's a meme. So this car, if I am way too aggressive on throttle, should absolutely blow the tires out sideways. But there needs to be some scope of where I can just go sideways, and the punishment is that I'm burning up my tires and I'm going slower. But I'm just not crashing. The problem with a lot of other sims is that the second you go past that limit, you just crash. And that I've never liked. Because, like, for example, in iRacing, I reference all the time, according to iRacing, drifting is just not something you can do in real life. Now, as far as, like, I'm also a dog shit driver in these sims. I say this all the time, and I think some people think that I'm trying to get people to compliment me and be like, no, you're right. No, I'm shit. Don't fluff me up. I'm bad at this shit, and I'm okay with that. But comparing the GT3's Mustang GT3 before versus now, I think this drives more like a Mustang with good tires on it, good suspension, comparing it to the best handling Mustang I've ever driven. This feels more like that than something... Again, I've never driven any Lamborghini in real life, so I don't even have a point of streetcar reference there. But I could use my brain and go, all right, I'm going to get in this badass production Mustang and this badass production Lamborghini, and assume the Lamborghini is more elegant, corner carvy, hooks better, all four corners, is just a better handling car out of the box. Mustangs are domestic terrorists. They are. I still love them, though. But I love Corvettes more. But I've also never driven a C8. That's another reason I like the GT class with the C5s and the C6s. I've driven a boatload of those in real life. All sorts of different trims, all sorts of different efforts. They drive like real cars, real C6s, real C5s. I can't reference the C8 because I've never been behind the wheel of one. I've been in the passenger seat of one, but never... And I'm sorry, guys. Unless the driver is explaining things to you, if you don't know shit about the car, or maybe you have like a boatload of racing experience, then maybe you'll learn something about a car in the passenger seat. But if you don't race, ever, and you get in the passenger seat of a random car, you ain't learning shit about driving that car until you get behind the driver's seat of that car, or in the driver's seat of that car, and then do some laps, do some straight line shit. Get on and off the highway at a somewhat decent rate of speed. You know? You have to drive them. Anyway, as far as speed is concerned, in my opinion, they were too fast before. Are they too slow now? I don't know. I know that my pace, my time, when I'm putting in effort in this game now matches that of other sims. I was way faster in this before. For example, I could run 157s with a default setup, full of fuel, before. Now, do I think I could do that in real life? Fuck no. Absolutely not. I would need a much faster car. Real lap times. We're all... What's our fastest, like, in my opinion, the challenge that was just last week with the Mustang on Sebring. The entire, like, top 100 leaderboard was faster than most people in real life. Probably some of those guys are sitting there on their PlayStation, on their controller, going faster than real race car drivers in the real race car. You know, and now I'm not going to tell you that I have any level of answer to this, but at the same time, I also agree with many people here, because I am also of this mindset that leave the cars alone right now. Work on the game. Because right now, regardless of what I think about whether these cars are good or right or wrong, the GT3s, I like driving them more than the other sims. And I think a lot of people are like that have access to the other sims. Not all people. People go where the mob goes, mostly. But, you know, I still think they drive good. And I think they drove good before. I think they drive better now. They're harder to drive now. Now, I do think there are scenarios where they either have to tweak. There's definitely tire bugs. There are no doubt tire bugs. Like, we just saw my front left tire when I parked in the grass climbing in temperature, getting to almost 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So, that's a bug. That can't happen. And that will absolutely affect, if there's a bug in the tire, that will absolutely affect the driving experience of the car. And people will go assume, oh, these cars handle like shit now. Because, like, I wasn't even looking at that tire. I was just driving the car. And then I happened to catch it out of the corner of my eye that my tire was red hot. So if I didn't have that screen on and I was just driving the car blind, I would go, this thing is driving like shit. Well, yeah, it's because my front left tire is 300 degrees right now. Why is it 300 degrees? You know? So there's no doubt there's some bugs that were introduced that are, without a doubt... Let me actually shut up for a second here. And speaking of Bathurst, let's go to Bathurst. I'll turn this back down to 10 minutes so we don't got to wait for people to get in. All right. Let's see, let me read some comments here. Car's a little different than GT World Spec. What is the, what are the average offhand, like, how do you get tire temps on screen? I use the DigiDash. I don't use the dedicated one. It's just one more bit of clutter. I'm not the type of person that likes a lot of telemetry on my screen. So I just use my Digi, and I turn it. There you go. There's my tire temps. What was I asking? Oh, what are the... Obviously, you had one up there. So this is... Here's my retort question to you, Austin. I don't know your driving skill set in real life. I know you have driven in real life. But in real life, like I know in that video you referenced mirroring the AMG GT3 with the comparable in-game car. So my question is, do you feel that you, because I don't know, have the ability in real life to run that time in that car? Like, are you following the same telemetry, the same braking markers, the same line, everything is the same, and you're staying within that lap time? Or, I don't know. I don't know. Because me personally, like, if I went as fast as him, this is me personally, I'm shit. You're faster than me. Every time we're ever in the same race, you're 16 years in front of me. But if I went as fast as someone in real life, I would say the car I'm driving in the game is way too fast. I belong nowhere near the top of the leaderboards, ever, you know?
Yellow flag.
So I would say that if I went as fast as, say, a professional who races the car in real life nonstop, something is the cars are too forgiving, whatever it is. You know, and that was what now Bathurst, I don't really have enough of my own personal experience in the game on Bathurst to go, yep, these times are too slow, too fast, whatever. But on Sebring, the times that I would run in a default Mustang GT3 were essentially as fast or faster than professional times, and I'm driving like an asshole. So to me, the car is too fast in that scenario. Now, maybe cars are balanced obviously differently and some cars are faster. I'm just referring to specifically the factory driver challenge that was up last week or 2 weeks ago. Maybe it might have been 3 weeks ago. Shit, I haven't been playing it. But I could run pretty easily 157s, you know, with a completely default setup full of fuel. And that just shouldn't be the case. The way I was driving that car, I shouldn't have been able to go sub 2 minutes. But I could do 157s, no problem. And please ignore my driving right now. I'm too focused on trying to form words. Yeah, you've always been able to get into mine, but the console guys you seem to not be able to get into. That is a strange one. And you said you're not on a VPN. I've personally seen VPNs completely break connectivity issues or experiences. But you said you're not on one, so... It sucks because, like, if there is one thing that I personally have never experienced is connection issues. I see it happen around me, but me, I can go into ranked as often as I want. I can host a lobby, never have issues, but it's people around me that, you know, fall into the phantom realm. So I do understand that side of not being able to reproduce issues. Reading chat. I don't even know why I'm driving around the track right now. I'm reading chat and drinking coffee. I'll just spectate for now. Let's see. Fastest in IMSA GT3 is 2 minutes flat. Which car? No tomorrow. Stuck in gear again? Believe it or not, I believe you being stuck in gear is a server-side bug. We had an issue yesterday where the entire lobby, everybody experienced like a UI crash or a rant. They couldn't get into the menu. Everything would stop working game side because of a server-side issue. Everybody had to basically force close the game. I personally love the way the BMW drives in the game right now. I do think it's got a little too much understeer, but I've never driven the real car, so I can't say accurate, inaccurate. I can adjust to that understeer, but for me, if it had a little less understeer with the same rear end of the car's performance, that car's a weapon. That car, you point and you shoot. You can lay right into that throttle coming out of a hard hairpin, and it just goes straight. The Mustang, you're Reese Millen, you're sideways. I'll be like I said, I didn't watch the AMA, but going in, reading some of the Discord stuff prior to the AMA, in my head I was like, yeah, this is gonna be, this might be rough for Aris and crew. I don't know what it was like. I don't know how he handled it. And that sucks because I can't see it at all. It needs to be on YouTube. I really like the way the BMW drives. It's mainly because of the rear end. I don't like the understeer, but I like how stable the rear of the car is by comparison. DQ'd you? Is anybody else in the lobby having just general issues besides MT? Ooh, War Dog. Showing the world who's boss in that Lambo. Let's see, Mr. Nico. That's... Well, the good thing is that it should put you back in the race. You got just DQ'd from probably sitting on the side of the road, I would imagine. But... Oh, you turned your VPN off? Are you playing on your laptop? The AMA, at least to me, it went fine. I mean, that's good. But, without a doubt, oh, okay, I got you. Never mind. I misunderstood. You turned your VPN off on your laptop. I read that as I'm gaming on the laptop as well. Got it. Got it. Yeah, man. Why is sim racing, like, for lack of a better term, why is sim racing such dog shit? I don't like getting in Forza Horizon 6 and going, wow, what a finished game. Great job, Microsoft. You have any idea how much that hurts my soul? To say great job, Microsoft? Even though it's obviously not Microsoft making the game. They're obviously funding it, but... Still, pisses me off. They're understaffed, George. That's the reality of it. They are understaffed. That's why I think the factory driver program done well is... If you told me right now, hey, Evan, you want to run your business, right? Well, we're gonna give you 5 employees that you don't have to pay. Where do you want to put them? As long as they ain't turning wrenches or operating the laptop. One guy keep the shop clean. One guy do all my comms. Maybe 2 guys do all my comms. One guy handles social medias. You know? Shit. Yeah. And trust me, I'm not... By no means am I comparing PMR to Forza without the understanding of the amount of money it costs. Trust me, I'm by no means saying, oh, this game should be as good as Forza or as finished as Forza. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it annoys me that the entirety of the sim racing industry is, maybe not in this very moment like this game, but at some point every sim is in this situation. And it is so frustrating. Because day one Forza just fucking worked. Nothing will ever be one-to-one like reality. I tell people all the time, if you truly, truly, truly can't make any adjustments to anything, it's all about scope, you know? So it's suspension of disbelief is what I constantly talk about to people. The sim needs to keep you close enough to convincing you that it's a real situation, and that's called suspension of disbelief. And if it tries to go too far outside that scope, you can no longer suspend your disbelief and go, nope, that's some bullshit. Like in LMU, when I lost control of the Mustang and I hit the wall backwards, the rear of my car flew into the back of the barrier at maybe 30 miles an hour, right? And it killed the engine. The engine was done. It was cooked. I immediately start searching for all the plausible scenarios to where I now no longer can start my engine because the rear of my car squared up and hit the wall. My bumper was still on and it was fine. It was a little scratched up, but I couldn't turn the car and essentially I was out of the race. I couldn't just start the car and get right back up in the race and just take the penalty of whatever I lost with, you know, the diffuser, things like that. No, it killed the engine. How? How is that a thing? Suspension of disbelief got suspended. And I'm like, nope, that's some bullshit. Quit. Now, I'm like, well, maybe the battery's in the back. Is the battery in the back of the car on a GT3? Even though I could still power my dash and all that stuff. So I know it wasn't the battery. But I'm trying to think, well, maybe the battery got disconnected. What would cause this engine to not start from the back of my car hitting the wall? Basic understanding of cars and mechanics goes, that's some unrealistic bullshit. It's there for forced punishment. And I don't like that stuff. Maybe I broke a fuel line. That's possible, Grumps. I don't know what fuel line is in the direct back of the car. That wouldn't... So if I hit if my bumper and diffuser is still attached and still pretty decent looking, and I hit the wall square... Well, I would imagine there's no fuel lines on the outside of the rear bumper. I sure as hell hope not. That's a fire hazard waiting to happen. Knocked my driver unconscious. Oh, it knocked me the fuck unconscious. That's for damn sure. The diff hit the drive shaft into the transmission. That's fine. That means I got a damaged output shaft in the transmission. Why can't I turn the engine on? The engine would not fire up. It wouldn't crank. It acted like I sent a rod out the motor and it seized it up. But here's the thing, Holland. I've spun out way worse 100 times and just not hit anything, and I've never lost the engine like I did in that. It was when I hit the wall, the car shut off, and it wouldn't turn back on. I searched mentally for scenarios. I'm like, what would make this the real life experience? Now, maybe there is something going on there that in that particular scenario would kill the car.
Keep focused.
But I couldn't wrap my head around it in the moment.
Take some of those cars off the line.
Oh, I didn't pull any fuel out. Oh, well. Trying to drive safe. Just don't kill me. It's all I ask. Because if that was the simulation effect, Holland, then I would expect every time I lose control of the car and I'm flying backwards and I don't hit anything, I would expect to kill the car. Or kill the fuel pump. But I would imagine there's some kind of switch, some kind of hop switch or something to reactivate the fuel pump in these race cars. And straight line cars, they're commonly right there on the trunk. Slap the button and boom, you're right back in. Get to work. So, it's also the... Oh, boy. Oh, my God. I don't... All right, at least I'm back in it. That was a get skinny moment that I was pretty confident that I was skinny enough for. Guess I wasn't. But you are, Holland, you are right about the GT4 stuff. I know because I did report it. The Porsche is mental fast. When I tested the cars, every GT4 I was in was about within a second of each other, slowest to fastest range. And I spent some time in those cars. I got in the Porsche and my first lap out was sloppy because it'll push the car so hard. Sloppy. Drove like an asshole. Went 2 seconds faster. And I'm like, I know I can go faster than that. It didn't feel like it. Now, maybe it does. Again, I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. But I was able to drive the car way too aggressively. So it feels like like that particular car needed a chassis nerf, not so much a power nerf. Probably, sure, you probably could have done it with power, but the way I was able to throw that car around, I couldn't do that with any of the other cars. My car is completely jacked up right now. One thing I'll say, though, my car, even though the steering wheel is crooked, post this update, it does feel like the impacts are more punishing to the effects of the car in the race. I'd love to know what my relative times are, but like right now, I can tell I don't have a front splitter anymore. There is zero front end downforce of any kind. Oh, of course. Take that diffuser out too. Oh my God, what is going on back here? Trev, bro, get it together, man. Get it together, Trev. I'm fighting for my life, trying to keep this thing just to go straight. Well, straight when I want it to go straight. Oh, Jesus, yeah. I'm just gonna let everybody pass. This car's cooked. Oh no, I said the word cooked. I am low key, high key, whichever key. I'm starting to hate the word cooked. Like when people say no cap, but by the way, the word cap is a word that pisses me off, a slang term. If you're using the word cap to replace lie, it's one syllable, it's 3 letters. What's the advantage? My slang, when I use it, it usually shortens a word, makes it easier to say what I'm trying to say. I might sound like an idiot, but at least there's a speech advantage to it. No cap, no lie. You sound stupid, don't say that. And cook is getting up there. Not gonna be long before I despise that word. Just like influencer. I'm just gonna go sideways from now on. Turn the TC off. Have a little fun. Yep. See, that there is weird. The way the front just kept sliding right there, that to me felt like a bug. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like I slid at very low speed and the front end just would not grip. Oh yeah, look what my tires are doing right now.
Pushing too hard on corner entry and exit, mate. Bring them back into the window.
I got one good tire on the car at least. Right, yeah, try a different server. MT. Yep, my tires are 3. Look how hot they are. They are skyrocketing still. And as soon as I move the car, 360 degrees. How does this... Okay, that works. That's fine. There's no doubt some bugs with tires, bugs, like, I gotta not think about it because it'll stress me out to the point where I just want to go watch TV. I want to enjoy racing the game, you know? That's all I want to do. I think it's a pretty simple ask. Like, right now, it's so hard for me to try and actually focus on the race and focus on getting better or making adjustments, things like that. When at every literal turn, there is a new random weird bug that's just staring me in the face to pull me out of, like, the focus of trying to actually do some racing. And that's frustrating. War Dog and Austin having a battle right now. Yeah, come on in. Come on in for the next race. Yeah, Bathurst is very much a rhythm track. I love this track, but you cannot half step in it. You can't walk in and go, yeah, I'm gonna try and maintain a pace and casually race. No, you gotta pay attention. You gotta nail everything. Because once you get slightly, especially going down the mountain, once you get slightly out of the groove, you go from looking like you know what you're doing, looking like you've never been in a car before. Oh, War Dog, you're in the grass. Oh. Austin's got the advantage line here. He might not for the next turn, though. We'll see. See what he does with it. Going wide. Wide. Oh. I'm having more fun watching these two guys race than drive around myself, honestly. I gotta say, though, visuals look pretty good right now. On PC. Like, that's like a welcome thing. Like, I'm a visuals guy. I need to have nice visuals. But at the same time, I know the art team does not handle a lot of the, you know, other stuff. Oh. Took him on the outside. Hold on. Son of a bitch! And through goes Hamilton. Oh, War Dog. Oh, yeah, Slick, my bad. I read your message, but I just started the stream, so I meant to message you and tell you to come in the chat. But yeah, Slick, come in the chat. Don't come in the chat. Join the chat, please. I don't think you would be welcome if you were coming in the chat. You like them better, Slick? I personally like them better. I think they're all perfect and they don't need any adjustments? No, I think there's some refinement still needed. But I do think the GT3s right now are a step in the right direction. But I don't want them to touch these cars. This is obviously this is just my opinion. And I don't expect to get what I want. But I don't want them to touch any of the cars in this game until they square away the game. That's just my opinion. The only cars I just do not like driving in this game right now are LMDH. And a lot of people do like driving them, which tells me even that. Don't touch those. You know? That was a good race. That was a very good race. What was I gonna say? But like, the focus should be squaring the game away, you know? I feel like that should be like the obvious writing on the wall at this point. But I don't know. Obviously, you want cars to get dialed in and to become the best possible driving experience. Because, like, this is what sucks. This game, in my opinion, has the best driving experience. But the game needs the most amount of work compared to all the other sims. Most of the other sims don't have these level of problems, but the driving isn't there for me. How would you... I know you like... you're an ACC fan, Slick. How do you like them now compared to ACC? I personally think they drive more like the cars in ACC now than they did previous. Curbs feel good. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Digi. Do these cars, could they use a little bit more work here and there? Sure. Do I think that should go above fixing, like, you know, problems? Absolutely not. That's fair, Austin. That's fair. I can't counter because I've never done that. Never driven in that scenario. I really can't counter that. But you could very well be right. Very well be right. Unfortunately, Grumps, I don't necessarily disagree. If the cars drive... If you're a GT3 guy, that is. Obviously, if you like older cars, then yes, you should not play ACC because they don't have them. But right now, specifically... in my opinion, ACC is just it's a finished working game. Although it is funny though, when I reinstalled ACC the other day and I had to choose my language, all of the other languages except for like the first two said beta, and I'm like, I wonder when we're gonna get an update so those don't say beta anymore.
We just didn't perform well enough today. We need to do a better job next time as a team. Let's keep pushing. We'll find some speed.
Hot damn, where'd we get all the viewers from? Folks in chat, if you're real and not bots, vote. Vote, vote, vote. I doubt I'll do ACC. If I ever did ACC lobbies, I'd probably watch, honestly. I don't mind spectating, ever. I know most people aren't necessarily watching me for my incredible driving skills, so I don't think a lot of people would mind watching me watch people race. People are strange like that. All right, you guys pick the track. I'll do what you guys want to do. Yeah, I think, Austin, that's, in my opinion, that is what you should do if you want to, like, hammer home the dirt comment. Use a reference point. Like, you know, like, use your personal... Because that's what I do. Whenever I talk about things from my own personal experience. And people hate it, but it's hard to go against the grain of my own experience, and everybody's going to be like that. Your own personal experience is always going to carry more weight to you than other people telling you you're wrong. Like... For example, I know 2 plus 2 is 4. Like, I know that. But when someone tells me 2 plus 2 is 5, I go, well, you see... Laguna Seca. Oh, wait. Yeah. And I have to... I said this the other day, and I'll say it again. There isn't much I like about the driving in LMU, but something about their GT3 physics and tire model feels fantastic through the corkscrew. There's not a lot I like about driving the GT3s, but when I drive through the corkscrew, it could just be that it's just wanting the corkscrew. High Rock is fun. High Rock is fun. in my opinion, now, see, I like to play video games. In my opinion, I would rather get 10 tracks like High Rock over 10 real boring tracks. You know? We have Road America. You mean Road Atlanta? The last one, War Dog? 2 plus 2 is fish. 1 times 1 doesn't equal 1. Yeah, I was actually quite surprised. I immediately, like, flipped a light switch and went like, ooh. Like, you know, you touched me in the funny business. When I went through the corkscrew in the Mustang GT3 for the very first time in LMU, I drove into the corkscrew expecting to be like, this is going to be a total shit show with the way these cars drive. And I was like, oh, okay. So LMU did all of its physics testing in the corkscrew before the track ever came out. Got it. Makes sense. AMS2, everything. I constantly get track limit issues through the corkscrew in every sim I do. First lap was like an experimental caution lap. I'm like, ooh, that felt pretty good. Second lap, I cranked right through it, and I'm like, wow. That might have been the best corkscrew I've ever done in a sim. Well, I've never done it in real life. So, and it was from a game that I don't even like the driving. Oh! Static Jack. The hell? No, you guys really want to talk weird math. Let's talk about Common Core math. Is that still a thing, or did they finally get rid of that stuff? Hurry! Yeah, I'll watch your lap. Oh, that's funny. That is... Car looks fantastic, though. Like, this is a... You know what? Hold on. Hold on. I just took a screenshot. That's a great picture. That might be a thumbnail. Thank you. That wasn't pointless. That's a good thumbnail picture for later. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you, man. Is anybody else in the lobby experiencing it, or is it just you? Now, dumb question. You're on a default car, right? Like a true... Go back to the pit, load a default setup, and then try again. Like, load a fresh default... Even if you're on a default setup, load a fresh default setup. Stiggy, let me read your comment there. Sorry, buddy. Which size base are you on, Stiggy? Evo what? I'm using an Ultra at the moment, but I've used the Pro as well. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, Slick. That's why I asked if they were bots. Because you would think that many people watching, there'd be more like random comms in chat. All right, so let me show you my base settings here, Stiggy. MT, report back to if that fixed your car or not. I love the hazard-ish warning. So I'm max on the global gain, smoothing 0. I believe the low force boost and the brake feel boost here is default. Headroom I have turned down because the headroom is, if you have that on 150, which is default, you will regret it when you hit a wall. My base is set to 18 Newton meters. My rumble strength is at 100 because that's all your curb feel. 900-degree base setting. Filter 0. Force feedback details 20. Wheel speed rotation 0. That's going to be subjective, but I don't like it. That's your oscillation bullshit. You know how the Logitechs tend to oscillate? That's because they're like this. Like, look how much freer my wheel is right now, but that isn't a good thing for me. Now watch when I go 0. But it doesn't feel like it's not a damper, hence 0. Mechanical friction 20, mechanical inertia 20. I don't turn on any of the bullshit. 0 filtration of any kind, all the details. If I turn this up, everything's going to oscillate like crazy. I hate oscillation. I don't care if all the world's greatest force feedback enthusiasts in the world tell me, well, that's going to duplicate G-forces and all this shit that you want. You're all missing information. Well, I don't want G-forces through my steering wheel because I've driven a real car once upon a time. I want G-forces through my body. Oh, I can't do that? Well, then I tolerate not having G-forces. Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to whinge right there, but... Yeah, I will say I'm a fan of the Super V8s. Fan of the Super V8s for sure. In my opinion, they shouldn't touch any of the older stuff right now. Like, please don't. Like, I'm really hoping to not see, like an older car update until this game is squared the hell away. I'm really hoping. Sounds good, Stiggy. That's weird. You might have stick drift issues, MT. You might officially be in a stick drift situation. Scroll down to GT3 section in this link to see all the changes. We'll do High Rock next, by the way. I know I'd already selected this after I read the comment. But, we'll do High Rock next. High Rock's a good time. I might actually have to go Super V8 for High Rock. Yeah, visuals look fantastic right now on PC. That's what I'm. Oh, you're obviously on PC too. You're on an Evo, so. Yeah, we can do single class. I'm down for whatever. I honestly don't even care much to race myself. I just want to play and hang out. So yeah, I'll do whatever. Whatever everybody wants to do, I'll do. High Rock, Super GT, or Super... I hate the Super GT versus Super V8. I'm glad the game finally got the Holden. I'm partial to the Holden. Don't really care much about the Falcon. Oh, Cruiser, that's going to be video games in general, man. You'll never expect, if anybody, in my opinion, even if you cannot expect even the next PS6 to look this good. It just can't happen. It can't happen. The horsepower will never be there in a console. But that will always be well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think this next generation of game consoles is going to be the first real step into the grave for console gaming. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully courses get corrected and, you know, Xbox and PS6 don't suck. Mainly financially is how they're going to suck. We'll see what we get, Stiggy, down the road. But yeah, I mean, all randomness aside, I do very much. Number one thing I think they need to do is reinstate the factory driver program. I really do believe that.
Bad luck, mate. We didn't set a time. We're back to the race.
Oh, I agree, Flurry. I think, like, I'm just driving the GT3s right now because they're newer, the actual physics of them. But if you had to pick a single class of car in this, it would not be any of the modern GTs. It would not be LMDH either. The newest cars that are my favorite in this, the newest, are the GTs. And they're not even that new. Yeah. Yeah, like, for example, on my my Simagic, I didn't have to do any tweaking to force feedback, but on my RS50, I did. That being said, though, my RS50's solid now. But none of the changes I made were to the in-game or car force feedback. It was all elsewhere. So it did change. See, like this right here. Sora, I don't know if you're still lurking or not, because I know you were in a lobby earlier. But like right here. And there's also random gridding. Hold on. Yeah, like right there. There's a GT4 car in between GT3 cars. Like, Super GTs in the middle. I did it again! I'm just gonna call them Aussie V8s, because anytime I say Super, I go right to GT. Super V8s here are in between GT3s. There's clearly a gridding issue right now. That's new. It's I hate to keep talking about them, but it's distracting, you know? Not bad. Oh, okay. Yeah, Stiggy, the driving in this game really is fantastic. There is a little bit of a grace period, if you will, on getting used to it. I highly recommend the older cars. That's where this game really shines, in my opinion. But it's without a doubt right now, in its most, of all the Sims, it's the one in its infancy the most. Game, bottom line is the game needed another year. It needed another year in the, before release. But it's obviously too late now. No point in talking about that. We're here. We're playing it. Ride the waves. If it ends up failing in the long run, then it fails. Hopefully they learned something. Hopefully we had some fun in the process. But if it succeeds, great. I'm here for both the scenarios, you know? I've already put over 800, or close to about 800 hours in. I have to check my Steam counter. I have 100 hours on PS5. So, I mean, I've gotten more than my money's worth in terms of time. I haven't gotten anywhere near my time out of iRacing, that's for damn sure. See, it's quite possible that right now the gridding is happening purely based off lap time and it's not factoring in class at all. Because I didn't do any qualifying there. And there were, you know, there was a, I don't know if there was a GT4 in front of me, but there was definitely some Super V8s in front of me and behind me. Well, listen, like I said, I've said many times about Ian Bell. I don't know him from a hole in the wall. I'd never even heard of him till this game came out. And he might be the nicest dude on the planet. Seriously, I don't know. I have no fucking clue. And I am one of those people that I don't judge a human being until my own personal interactions with them. I don't judge him based off someone else's opinion. So for me, I'll grain of salt people, like right now. Like, I don't know Ian Bell, but I clearly would err on the side of caution based off what I've heard. But I wouldn't judge the guy until I had some dealings with him. That being said, at least in the public sentiment, him being gone is a good thing for this game. Everyone, at least in public, seems to like Kevin. Nobody seemed to like Ian. To me, that's a chess move that's worth doing, you know? But again, that doesn't mean I think Ian's a bad person. We don't know anything. We truly don't know anything about the guy. Bell end. Oh. But one thing I definitely still think that's happening too much, especially with this game, is tribalism. It was like that in the beginning. I called it out in the beginning. I'm still calling it out now. Tribalism is insane in this game. The amount of people playing this game, it should not be this much of a divide with people. It's so gross, for lack of a better word. Fucking gross. The shit people say about, listen, you don't, again, I say many times, you don't have to like me, you don't have to like my opinions. But if that's the case, then why are you listening to me? You know? Hate watching is like an addiction for people. Sure wish I knew what my relative times were. You just gotta take it on the chin and laugh, or else it'll just make you want to cry. I will say though, that here's the thing, with these new physics, if you just slow down and drive a little more composed, you do go faster. But you can't overdrive them like you could before, and I think that's a big part of why a lot of people don't like them now. You can't abuse them to get the lap times anymore. And I am a proponent of that. I definitely overdrove and would go faster before. Now that when I overdrive, I look like a friggin' idiot. I mean, I always look like an idiot, but even more so now.
No mistakes. Keep it clean and tidy.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, Trev. Because, like, here's the thing. There's obviously some tire bugs that are happening. And I really do wonder if those bugs are factoring into the actual driving experiences of some of these cars. Because I've definitely felt, like, right now my tires are fine and the car feels fine to me. But there were times where I'm like, where is my grip? Where is my front end grip? It's gone. Like when I slid off the track in Bathurst there, and my front tires would not re-grip the car. I'm just sliding like I'm literally on ice. And then I look at my tires, my front tires are 300 degrees. And all I did was spin out. So, realistically, your tire wear, I mean, do I got a reference? Oh, good old Harry and Cole. His way, my way. And I was 3 seconds faster, too. I definitely drive like Cole pre-Harry. Yeah, I've experienced it more tonight, Austin, than I did it all yesterday. Like, I had it, that race was fine right there. I had no tire issue whatsoever, and I could feel it. It was fine. The previous race at Bathurst, when I spun out, the front end of the car slid, and it just was not re-gripping. Like, I was actually genuinely on ice. And it felt very, very, very jank. I looked at the tire temps, they were 300 degrees. How they got to 300 degrees from spinning out one time, I got no idea. But they did. They get hot, but they do cool down at the same time. Yeah, War Dog's got good pace. If I want any chance of battling with War Dog, I gotta do it off stream. I can't stream and attempt to be somewhat quick. Had tire heating issues last night in the V8. Well, I'm going to jump in the V8. So next race is going to be single class Super V8 High Rock. Basically what Boris did for his what's he called? His time trial? I forgot what it's called. Been sim racing since before it was cool. And the other bug with the flags. Some Americans now get random flags. Like, it's weird. Like, most of the bugs are in no way any level of game breaking, but it's like, why is this there now? Like, where did this come from? Like, the double underdrive, the double reverse, the overdrive reverse gear. How did that happen? I'm so confused by that. Now, I know they switched over to strictly homologation gear ratios for GT3. That's the only way I can think they somehow, did that in. But it's just such a random bug to experience. It doesn't break anything. It's just hysterical. And it's a pretty solid talking point, honestly. Because I've never driven anything in my life with two reverse gears. All right, let's turn off the... What do we want for weather, guys? I'll do whatever. I'm open to whatever. I'm just dicking around myself here, so... Come on, go away. This is another one. I'm glad it's here, but, like, when there's a slider for anti-cheat, well, why would I ever want that off? Truthfully. I didn't turn on mods. I have to start the lobby again. Hey guys, if we want to do High Rock, I literally have to... That's so frustrating. So frustrating. Thanks for playing, War Dog. Guys, if you're watching... I have to restart the lobby if we want to do High Rock. For now, we got people cruising here. We'll skip out on High Rock. That sucks. I didn't turn on the add mod slider. So I can't turn it on at all. Let's do Road America. Oh, you know, I'm gonna throw a curveball though. There you go. Add the chicane in there. Why is it GT3s though? What is happening? All right. Probably because I didn't accept the lobby. That's why. I didn't accept the lobby. That's on me. That makes sense. Here's the thing. I've known my share of Ians in real life. And the worst thing that they can do as people is just make posts on the internet. Because they don't know how to do it and not look like assholes. That's the reality of it. Assists are on authentic at the moment. Why is there a GT3 right there? Anybody see on this? Anybody seeing this right now? I usually always run authentic. I haven't run... I started with forced on to give people the option of doing it themselves. Alright, he just died. No, he's right there. What is going on, man? Is anybody else... If you're in this lobby, does this, PR1 Nemus, whatever. He's in a GT3. This is a Super V8 only lobby right now, Slick. See? This could be the bug that I experienced like 6 months ago. Where it showed a completely different car. That he might on his screen, he might be in a Super V8. The GT3 on your screen too, huh? We're going to see how he drives on track. Vote. Well, then vote based off if you want to be negative or if you want to be positive. Or just click a button. Yeah, Harry, views are going well tonight. I don't know why. No idea. No idea. This has me so confused. Anyway. Alright, let's go H pattern here.
flag. Repeat, yellow flag.
Oh, I gotta say, these cars feel good. I think one stream, I really am waiting for a hotfix right now before I do my, like, more technical style streams where I compare certain cars to certain... I actually like doing that more than anything else. Whether you guys like listening to it or not, I can't tell you, but it's what I enjoy doing more. Ugh. They probably haven't allowed mouse use on console yet, if I had to really guess. But, hey, maybe. They do a lot of things that get put in updates that they don't put in their patch notes. Like, remember when the Cadillac LMDH got a completely different audio? That was not in any note of any kind. That's not good. Hellcat. Not good at all. Not your style of car, too wicked.
Come on, let's take this pole. Maximum push now.
This is the exact kind of car in real life that I want to drive.
Session ends in 5 minutes.
You said, hey, Ev, you want to drive a GT3 or an old Commodore? Sign me up for the Commodore. Admittedly, I could probably benefit from a line with this car right now, but...
Yellow flag. Be careful.
I was looking at chat. Son of a bitch. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, these are good. These are pretty solid. I really do want to do a comparison of these cars, this particular car in PMR versus the Commodore in AMS2, because I really like the Commodore in AMS2 as well. I really like AMS2's new tire physics. They're really good. But god damn, every single car in the game is sitting on bump stops. You can get used to it and accept it, and it's still fun, but not feeling any kind of suspension geometry or suspension travel really does kind of pull you out of the authentic sort of feeling of driving cars. Like, when cars don't have body roll that 100% have a boatload of body, literally a boatload of body roll, but AMS2 is still a lot of fun. You just kind of got to ignore that suspension aspect, or lack of suspension aspect. I used to think Sebring, the scan of Sebring for AMS2 was the bumpiest of all of them. I actually don't think it's the track at all. I think it's the cars. I truly believe they don't have any suspension travel. So bumps that would be normally the same size as every other sim are throwing the car around because, again, there's no dampening going on of any kind. Yeah. Suspension of disbelief. Yeah. Double meaning. Like, I can kind of accept it in the GT3s and AMS2 because they're really stiff cars anyway. But, like, when I drive the equivalent of, like, say, the GT3s in AMS2, and, like, for example, I drive the old Stingray, the C3, and that car's got zero body roll, that pulls me out. That pulls me out. That car should not... A C3 does not drive like it's on rails, let alone an authentic one from the 60s. How do I find leagues for ACC? Ooh. Oil Slick. Whoa, hello. Oil Slick would probably know the answer to that better. I've never been in a league, an ACC. Is anybody even using... Oh, right there. I was about to say, is anybody even using the Falcon? I am much more of a Commodore, or a Holden fan, I should say. Like, it's weird. In America, I go back and forth between Ford and Chevy in terms of which cars I like. I'm very car specific between those two brands. But Australia, GM all day over Ford, all day long. Oh, hello. I feel like they drive very similar, Trev. Yeah, in my opinion, at this very, very, very juncture in all of sim racing, if AMS2 had PMR's suspension physics, I think that would be probably hands down the best driving experience in a sim. Because that's the only thing that hurts AMS2, and it's a very big thing. And this, in my opinion, PMR has the best suspension physics of all the sims. They've got that, in my opinion, nailed. But, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, this is... Oh, we're in overtime. Never mind. Is anybody on track? Oh, right there. Driver 580XD. He's the solo guy on track. Slick, what time does this, like, physical time, words, like, 8 o'clock, what time does the league racing start? Holden had the monopoly in the series. Agree so much on lack of the body roll. Yeah. Because I do very much love AMS2 as a sim. It's kind of wild how efficient it is from a frame rate standpoint, too. Like, I get why LMU has good frames, because if you actually pay attention to the visuals, there's almost no geometry anywhere, or geo, I should say, but geometry, essentially anywhere on the track. Grass is a flat texture everywhere. Like, if you guys don't believe on grass, you go from ultra on PC to off, you gain about 8% of your frame rate, and just the grass alone in this. AC Evo, I gain about 50 FPS, turning the grass from max to off. So things like that, LMU does not even have grass at max settings. AMS2 does. So the Madness engine, for all things, for what it's worth, if Ian Bell's ever done anything right, it was the Madness engine. I'll give him that. That engine works well. Qualifying starts at 8:30. What's the race length? Because I can probably just negotiate with the wife a little bit and move game night from Wednesday to Tuesday to do the league.
Okay, mate, you can do this. Let's stay out of trouble in the first few corners. No heroics out there.
Oh! Oh no, here we go. Here we go with this bullshit. It seems fine now. That wasn't nearly as bad as what I'm used to. That didn't really seem to do any damage to the car, which is good. I mean, it did do some damage. I can see it on the hood, but... I love that I can feel the suspension in the force feedback. I'm telling you, like, that's one aspect of the driving experience. What? In PMR, that feels really good. Hey, this is the guy that was in the GT3, so that must have been a server-side, weird one. This Primus guy, what? Knew that. That was a bit of a downshift that jackknifed out the rear end there. What CPU do you have, Punk? Because you might have a GPU that can crank out the frames, but the CPU creates the stutters because it can't keep up. So limiting the frame rate essentially throttles the GPU, and the CPU is able to maintain frame pacing better. Admittedly, I have no idea what the braking zones are for these on this track. Nice save. Oh, almost. Oh! That was my bad. I could have given him more space. We didn't make contact, but I definitely could have given him a little more space. I was too busy staring at him save it. Oh, you got plenty of oh shit. My bad. That's where reading chat becomes an impossible feat. You know, you got plenty of CPU then. You have the same CPU as me. So you might actually have a GPU issue then, or it could just straight up be, not the physical GPU, but the software side of it. I have a 9800 X3D as well, but I'm on a 5090, but I don't get any stutters, and I have my frame rate's locked at 144. So it's not the CPU, because 9800 X3D is flawless. You might... Probably software. You probably got something that's creating the stutter software side. Yeah, bruh, I had an 04 GTO, aka a Holden Monaro, which is why I'm pretty into the Holdens. That's what got me into the Holdens, was owning that car. And those cars in the States were not popular. They were pretty hated. Mainly because they were called a GTO. In my opinion, if GM was going to adopt Holden into the United States, they should have just left them, if anything, call it, you know, a Pontiac Monaro, or don't call it a GTO, because it was not a GTO. Nothing about it was a GTO. But it was better than a GTO, in my opinion. Because they had the Pontiac G8. G8 was the first, I believe, Commodore. Oh, no. Was the G8 a four-door Monaro, or was the four-door Monaro called the Commodore? I know the Chevy SS was, in fact, the Commodore. I gotta refresh my Holden brain and what they translated to in the States, because I never had a G8. I had a GTO though, which it was a Monaro, but I don't remember what the G8 was in Australia. What was it, chat? You guys should know. We're in Australia prime time right now. The American Pontiac G8, what was its Holden variant? I do not remember. And was there a four-door Monaro, or was the Monaro specific to being a coupe? I have resizable bar on. I've always had it on, honestly. You could try it. But I've never had a game where resizable bar has actually had any effect on anything. How about the Mustang Mach-E? Where's Fogbound? Get him in here. My BIOS settings are actually very simple in my computer. I turn off the iGPU on the 9800 X3D. I don't think that has any effect on anything. I run my RAM, obviously, in Expo. Expo tweaked, I believe, is the specific setting. I'm on an Asus motherboard, so that option is available. Looks like Expo Tweaked has less latency than all the other Expo presets. I turn off my SATA ports because I don't have anything plugged into them. I turn off a lot of my onboard devices because, again, nothing's plugged in, nothing's used. All my sound comes through the HDMI on my video card, so I don't need any motherboard, things like that. Audio jack's working. Oh, and I turn off C-states for the CPU. So my CPU never throttles down into eco mode. That's it. That's all I do in the BIOS. That's what I thought, Maxie. That's what I thought, that the Commodore was the same car with four-door as a sedan, and the Monaro was the coupe version. But in America, we got the Chevy SS and the Pontiac G8. So were they both Commodores, just different generations, different years? The Chevy SS was a newer generation? Am I saying this correctly, Maxie? I would go ahead and say C-states is going to have more of an effect on stuttering and performance than turning off your iGPU. The C-states is quite literally, when your CPU's under less load, it throttles it down quite a bit. But it's not about it throttling it down, that becoming the problem. It's the fact that it has to re-throttle it. It's like stepping off the gas in a car. Pontiac G8 was this. I'll show you a picture. So, down 4, Pontiac GTO, which was quite literally the Monaro. This is what I had right here. This is the exact car that I had right here. The silver. Silver 04 Pontiac GTO. Put a lot of different motors in that car. 2008 Pontiac V8. I could just Google this. Now let's go. This is the Chevy SS. Are these the same car, just different generations? Essentially? Because they're very similar cars. They're all Holdens. Same car, essentially. So they're all Commodores, though, basically. Except for the Monaro, obviously. I have global C-states disabled. VE built by Holden in Adelaide, Australia, and... Alright, okay. So it's essentially a generational thing. VE versus VF. Got it. Got it. Because my original... The Chevy SS is what threw me for like a loop, because my brain has carried the information of Monaro 2-door, Commodore 4-door, same car otherwise. Admittedly, I like the Monaro better. You guys got the the newer generation Monaro, right? When did the Monaro end? Or did it continue on the whole time with the Commodore? I was really hoping they were going to bring the newer generation of the Monaro to the States, but they didn't. Because I like that body style, the newer generation body style, way better than the old one. It's just so much more aggressive looking. The GTO that I had, the Monaro, that generation, was a bit too round for my liking. It was too soft of a looking car. Still a good looking car, incredible driving car, but soft is the best way I can say it. Soft. All right. Cadillac probably blocked it. It's possible. Possible. I do miss that car, though, man. I do miss that car. And the funny thing was, is that stateside, the GTO was hated. Absolutely hated. And it was such a phenomenal car. I remember the amount of people that hated it and then drove one and then wanted to go buy one. That was like the thing when I had the Monaro. Or, I'm going to say Monaro from now on, but I had a GTO. Limited build, even in Australia. 2 versions. America should have kept Holden front bar. I agree. I hated that they badged it a Pontiac. I absolutely hated it. If you were going to bring over the Australian GM variants, bring them over as what they were. 04 GTO is your dream car. Thanks, Underground 2. Oh, yeah. Dude, I loved that car, man. I absolutely loved that car. I remember having a little mini gamble when I blew one of the motors up in mine, and my buddy's like, because he had an 06 with an LS2 in it, I had an LS1, but I had various different motors in mine. I had all sorts of motors in mine. And I made him a bet that I'd go faster with him than he would go with his GTO, and I'd go buy a motor at the junkyard. I went and bought I want to say it was an LQ4 or an LQ9 iron motor, truck motor, and I just put an LS6 cam in it, which is essentially the same cam as an LS2. And let me see if I can find that video. Let's see if I can find that video. He lost by a lot. Dude, Reese Millen was like my hero when I had that car. Reese Millen is the first person when I think drifting and I talk about drifting when I'm playing these games, Reese Millen's the first name out of my mouth. Not Ken Block, you know, none of those guys. It's always Reese Millen comes first. That dude was quite literally my hero when I had my GTO. Let's see, car videos. Now, fair warning, this is recorded on like a potato pretzel of a camera. So this was 2009, I think. This was 2009. So I had just slapped like a dog shit motor in this thing out of a junkyard, but I did swap the cam so the thing would rev a little bit and not be a stump puller like a truck. And I put an LS6 cam in. Essentially, this motor here was an iron LS2. And he had an aluminum original LS2. He was going 1290s, you know. Mine was an automatic. I remember he was so butthurt. I went almost a second faster than him with the same amount of power. But that car did not make power, by the way. That 12.1 113, I want to say it made like 340 at the tire. Did not make power. By today's standards, it didn't make power, that is. I sold that car with just under 500 at the tire. Naturally aspirated. Obviously a much better motor in it. but then when I sold it, it was a high 10-second car. I was... Oh, I'm not in focus here. But I do wish I still had that car. Well, back in 2009, a 12.1, which is a fart away from running 11s. That was on street tires too, by the way. That was not on a drag radial. That was on a Sumitomo Garbaggio tire. Sumitomo Garbaggio tire. And that's why I get really pissed off when people try and tell me that tires are so tractionless when they're like these super competitive slicks. I'm like, yeah, well, I have more grip on literally $70 a piece tires in real life. Now, obviously, they're different cars. And anyway, we're going down that rabbit hole I don't care about. Anyway, back in 2009, that would be like a respectively fast time for what it was. Now, like, bro, you're driving a Toyota Camry. That's what heavy force feedback does, boys. Lost the rear end just a little bit, and you ripped the wheel right out of my hands. Couldn't even counter. For reference, though, in terms of quarter-mile time, my Busa, with the right rider, I'm not the right rider, is a high 7-second naturally aspirated bike. And it'll do it on fucking pump gas. With a longer wheelbase, of course. These are stipulations. It won't be able to do it when at its current wheelbase, too short. But with an actual swing arm for the quarter mile only, all day. All day long. But I'd rather have the GTO that went 12.1 than my Busa that's that fast. All day. And it ain't even close. The older I get, the less I care about the actual speed of the car, and more about just the awesomeness of the car. Like, I'm getting closer and closer to wanting to build like an old rat rod. Something that makes like 170 horsepower, that idles its ass off with a donkey dick cam, that just doesn't make power, but it sounds awesome. I'd say, Harry, it depends on how fast each is. Because I very much do like bikes, but I also very much like cars, too. Your average bike? Yes, I hate your average bike. Your average biker. Your average sport bike rider? I fucking hate them. Hate them. Your average. Obviously, a lot of my friends ride bikes, but I'm saying your average sport bike rider sucks. Rev bombing, acting like an idiot. Oh my god, it's terrible. But like the reality of like for me there's obviously some level of coolness when something is at a certain level of speed, right? And by that I mean like what I do like about my Busa in terms of cool factor is how fast it actually is. Like if that bike is cruising around on the highway and a 1500 horsepower, I don't give a shit what it is. Unless it's a go-kart that works, it's going to get its ass kicked. And like if a GTR or a Corvette with that kind of power rolls up, unless we're racing a very, very, very long distance where the aero of the car can do its thing, it's not going to be a race. The Boost is going to murder it. An average rider on street sucks ass. 225. Vader. He knows. He's a bike guy.
Yellow flag. That's the yellow flag.
Well, the thing about the biggest reason why that is like that, though, because street bikes are, again, I like my bikes, I like my game consoles, but motorcycles are the consoles of the racing world. Low barrier to entry, affordable. So when you're 19 years old and you can go finance a brand new Super Sport that makes 200 horsepower that you have no business riding, yeah, the bank will approve it and you'll be out the door.
Checkered flag out.
Yeah, 2,500 horsepower GTR is going to get you for sure. That's just, if that car works, if it can put the power down, that's going to fuck all the bikes up. That's too much power. But it has to work, that's the key. And that's what's nice about the GTRs. As much as I've never been a fan of the GTRs, from just a car standpoint, they can use power efficiently. Cars just eating bikes, yeah. In bike, here's what I've learned being both into cars and bikes throughout the years is car people who are specifically car people are wildly ignorant to what bikes can do, and bike people, specifically just bike people, are wildly ignorant to what cars can do. So the only people that really have a rational perspective of what both are capable of are people that have played with both. And the average car guy that beats it, oh, I beat a 1 liter with my 800 horsepower car. No, you beat the rider on that bike. I promise you. Because I will be like, let me offer up this Pokemon. And it'll be a buddy of mine who's 140 pounds on a bone stock 600. And he will fuck that 800 horsepower car up. 800 horsepower car will be coming for him in the long run. But unless you're racing to infinity and beyond, the race is over. But it always was funny to hurt the ignorant car guy's ego who would beat some random 1000 and then get lit up by a 600, and their brain would be like, no, I beat a 1000, bro, you're cheating, or whatever the excuse was. It's a motor swap, blah, blah, it's on nitrous, blah, blah. Oh my God, shut up, bro. You just don't know what a bike is at. When a dude on a bike starts in third gear, always first. It's always first gear. Always. Even on a 1000. I shouldn't say always on a 1000. There are some speeds, just put it in second gear, but never, ever, ever above second gear. Well, yeah, Chase, you're coming from the perspective of building race bikes, and yeah, that's like my Busa's, nothing about my Busa is cheap. But just buying a Busa and driving it or riding it around with an exhaust, yeah, that's relatively cheap to do. Relatively cheap to do. If you got a somewhat halfway okay credit score, you can go finance it with zero money down. Boom, you got a brand new bike. That's the average kid's move. Harder to do that today with cars. But on the other hand, though, bike guys tend to have a really bad habit of thinking they can just destroy any car that exists. And the right car, when the right car comes around, there ain't a bike around that can beat it. Because in the grand scope of all straight line racing, cars are faster than bikes. But you're talking about a potential $500,000 to $1 million car, race car, to do it. That's only effort is straight line. Money is not even remotely close to equal, but when money is no option, we are talking world records and going as fast as possible in a straight line on planet Earth. The atmosphere favors the car. Aerodynamics is a wild, wild thing. Motorcycles are not aerodynamic. Busa is the most aerodynamic motorcycles ever made. I try to get out of your way. Are less aerodynamic than a Dodge Caravan. So what I'm trying to say is, a Dodge Caravan with the right power to weight ratio will pull away from a motorcycle on the top end. Alpha Viper on your Vespa. Like, there ain't a goddamn bike on the planet, I don't care how fast it is, that I'd want more than a bone stock Viper. Not a single one. That's a lie. My ZX-10. My ZX-10, though, does not follow... Sentimental value is the biggest cuck I've ever heard or ever seen. Like... Sentimental value doesn't make the brain work correctly. I've almost died on it. It single-handedly built my business. That 10 means more to me than... It's the equivalent... My ZX-10, my inanimate object ZX-10, for me is the equivalent of a dog you've had for like 20 years. My Busa, which is substantially faster and has a lot more money in, I couldn't give a flying fuck about. It's nothing but a monetary value item to me. My bad, didn't see you there. My radar is in a spot where the rim of my wheel will block my radar. But only with the round wheel. Well, yeah, if you were to buy any production car and any production bike solely for speed and not touch them, yeah, bikes are going to wipe the floor with cars. It's not even going to be close. But the end game, the barrier of planet Earth limits what the bike can do more so than a car. Speed is all relative, boys. It really is. People have different perspectives. You know, guys that race Pro Street, top fuel, like, you're not going to convince John Force that a production Mustang's a fast car. It's all perspective. Chase, yo, you're saying that from a standpoint, though, of racing motorcycles your whole life. The reality is, a production 1 liter to the average person is a weapon, is an absolute weapon. Nothing is slow about it. Yes, a stock 1 liter to me in my world is very slow. If I put my wife on a 1 liter, she would die in 30 feet.
Final lap, mate. No mistakes. Keep it clean and tidy.
All perspective. Like, I've never felt extreme lateral G, you know? Like, speaking of relativity, if I got into a GT3 car and experienced as much G, lateral G, as the car could possibly do, for me, it would probably be a whole lot of G and probably be pretty damn good to feel. Now, you take a fighter jet pilot and put him in the passenger seat, he's probably going to fall asleep against that lateral G. Be like, yeah, this ain't shit. Keep it moving, bro. You know? It's all relative. Well, the thing about a modern 1 liter is you absolutely have to flash the ECU. You can't do shit on a stock ECU. They are literally shut off. So for reference, if guys don't know how modern 1 liters are, or modern sport bikes in general, but mostly 1 liters, the throttle blade's shut. It's all drive-by-wire. So your hand will be, it's like having your car, your pedal to the floor, and your throttle blades are shutting as the RPM goes up. So here's the thing. I could buy a production ZX-10, Kawasaki ZX-10, change 2 things, and GPS 200 plus miles an hour. ECU flash, rear sprocket. Drop a couple teeth off the rear sprocket. There you go. All I have to do is know how to tuck and be a small enough rider, which I am. And I can go 200, no problem. So when I say it's like the game consoles of racing, the barrier to entry is that low. You could be 18 or 19 years old, have no real money to your name, go to a Kawasaki dealership, completely finance a brand new ZX-10, and then change 2 components, which would cost you maybe $500. And you can go 200 miles an hour. Now, obviously, a big dude, he ain't gonna go 200 miles an hour. He needs a bit more power. But small dude, easy. Easy. Your perception of drag racing is warped? Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me started on Nitro. I had a long rant today about Nitro. Nitro is making its way into street, and I hate it. I really, really, really hate it. It needs to stay away from the street. It belongs on the drag strip. You're literally riding around with dynamite in between your legs. And I'm not talking about the third leg. I won't tune people on it. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I stay far away from Nitro. The amount of business I've lost because I won't tune Nitro, I'm good. Stay away from me. Have a good one, Terminator. Thanks for playing. Boosas, they're the worst when it comes to... well, they're the best when it comes to resale value. They're the worst when it comes to buying them. Nitro is a power adder. It's fuel-injected fucking nitrous. I know the words are similar, but it is quite literally like that. Like, in 2009, when The Fast and the Furious came out, the fourth one, and Vin Diesel says, only pussies run nitro meth, in the moment, that was a complete fucking throwaway line to me. Whatever. Haha. Cool. And now, it has never been more relevant of an actual thing. Drives me nuts. I'd have to look up the exact chemical property to not read you a line of bullshit, Trev. But a lot of fuels are oxygenated. There's a lot of race gases out there. The best race gas out there right now that is not nitro is MR12. And it gives you about 10 more horsepower on it gives you a better reference. Gives you about 5% more horsepower over, say, pump gas. 93 octane pump gas. 91 octane, doesn't matter, whatever. Pump gas. Nitro. If you could somehow get 100% nitro into your fuel system with no mix of any kind, and not completely grenade and melt everything around you, you could make like 3 times the horsepower of your engine. Now, your shit would nuke itself long before you got 100% nitro through that engine. But the potency of nitro is literally that insane. M5, which is the step up above MR12, is 5% nitro. So it's 5% nitro mixed with 95% of their own blend of fuel, of race gas. It makes another 5% horsepower over, say, MR12. And that's 5%. 5%. So it's very common in the scene to take M5 and mix it with 100% nitro to create their own blend. 25-30% is quite common. It's aggressive, but it's quite common. So you got these bikes making fucking just stupid power. And oh, it's a naturally aspirated bike. See? Yeah, it's a naturally aspirated bike with... Okay. Okay, whatever you say. They're technically not wrong. It's suck, squish, bang, blow. But it's the same shit when people say nitrous is naturally aspirated. Mechanically speaking, sure. It's not boosted. But it's a power adder. Probably should have stayed in third right there. Whoa! Oh, Boosas, when I say they're timeless, they literally do not. So when I bought my Boosa in 2020, I was looking at older ones too, used ones. And 12-year-old Boosas were going for the same price as the 2020 from a dealership. I'm like, well, this is an obvious choice. Because I wanted a stock bike. I didn't want someone's a rat piece of shit that they worked on for 10 years. That was... No. Ah, I knew it. Dude, when you lose... Jesus, when you lose the rear of this car, it will rip the wheel right out of it. Out of your hands. Everyone dropped? You mean the lobby? Is the lobby broke? Or are you just talking about in general? Oh, we got some people in here. I don't know how much more time I got in me, but... Honestly, the thing is, Maxi, I'm like that with my ZX10. I hit that wall where I no longer give a shit, and I love the bike, my actual ZX10. And it will never change. I will never replace it. I will have it in 20 years. I'll have it in 30 years. I constantly say, if I ever financially lose it all, I'm going to be living under a bridge in a cardboard box, and my ZX10 is going to be parked right next to me. It'll be the last thing that goes before I die. So I get it, Maxi. I get it. And my Boost is my faster of my two bikes, and it's the one I care so much less about. Oh, wrong thing. What's going on, Chris? Tonight's going better than last night. I mean, I was a bit defeated from the added bugs that came with the update, because I really wanted there to be no bugs, and it weighed on me a little bit. Today I went into it with a little more like fuck it mentality. Let's just have some fun. Tonight's been good. Having fun. Not paying too much attention to the racing side of it from my effort, but having a good time. Update did a lot of good things, but it just introduced a lot of just new weird bugs along with it. But it is what it is at this point. This is how I view it at the end of the day. It's not that serious. It's still a video game. At the end of the day, Stray 4 is going to suffer more than anybody else. Any customer is. So that was a nice Vader. That was a pretty nice save right there, not going to lie. That was a little bit of Reese Millen action going on. I don't know how long that's been off screen. But if the game ends up pulling it off and becoming successful, then great. We got a great game to play around the clock, you know? If it fails, then it fails. And at the end of the day, we still have the video game. Again, Stray 4 is the only one that's ever going to suffer from that. So that's another thing too. Like you hear a lot of the same story about Project Cars 2. But now listen to how Project Cars 2 is talked about. Never too late in the sim racing space. Shit, look at iRacing. iRacing's been around for 18 years. They're the monopoly. I'm not even going to go down the rabbit hole of all things are wrong with that game, but it is what it is. I think the biggest thing that I have to do personally is kind of disconnect a bit from the community level side of the game and just play the game. Play the game and do my best to enjoy myself, you know? Disconnect a bit. Because the community of players that are currently playing this game are just... Oh! Almost had it, Vader. Almost had it. Community people that are still playing the game are very much divided, tribal. You know, I like to firmly try and put myself in the middle, but I'll get labeled. If I critique, I get labeled a hater. If I glaze or I give props for something good, I get labeled a glazer, a company man. I don't know shit about cars because I work on bikes. So I just got to stay out of it. Let people say what they want to say, not consume any of it, and enjoy the game for what it is. Nah, no problem. You're good. But there's a lot of good here still. A lot of good here still. I really don't think cars should be touched. I do think some cars need some tweaking, but I really don't think cars should be touched anymore moving forward. Immediate future type moving forward. I think the game should be what's focused on, you know? And with limited staff, If you know ones and zeros, you should be doing ones and zeros. They need a full overhaul of the penalty system, a full overhaul of ranked. I feel like those should probably be one and the same since penalties really matter the most. Obviously, you're a league guy, so you need penalties. But penalties are more important to a ranked situation than a custom lobby situation. So, in my opinion, the ranked overhaul, the penalty system should come with that. Obviously, all the stupid little bugs are frustrating because they're there and they weren't before. But those are essentially easier fixes. The overhaul of like ranked and stuff is going to take more effort. The good thing is, though, is join in progress works and it works well. You can tell they put the time into that, and that was what was really trial and errored a lot. But you can tell post that, all right, we got to get this out there for them, you know? Slick, most likely. When? Hopefully sooner than later. But I genuinely do not see them waiting till the next bigger update for bug fixing. I definitely see a hotfix coming out. Nothing's been, like, actual confirmed, but I can see one coming. See, like, right there. The flags that get added. What is this flag? And why does it keep taking over the American flags? This Vader lives an hour away. Like, that's a random bug that came out of nowhere. Flags. Yeah, Maxie, I appreciate that. Thank you. I wish that it wasn't tribal, because I do believe that the constant, like, bickering tribalism, people that might come in new might go, meh. What's that meme where the baby walks in and immediately turns around, jackknifes, and leaves? That's newcomers to this game. I try, Flurry, I try. I always feel like I could do better, but I do try. I try and talk about the problems, I try and talk about the good, and I try to not focus on one more than the other, unless it's impossible. I know the GT3s, you can't change gear ratios. Can you change the ratios of this car, Super V8? Because this car definitely needs more get up and go in first gear for the leave right there. I'm sure I can adjust final drive, but maybe that is the move. Maybe adding some final drive will get it out of the hole real good in first, and then I'll never, ever, ever need to use a situation in first gear. I don't know, though. Yeah, it's so weird that the flag came out of nowhere. I don't know flags for shit. Probably because I don't watch football at all. I tried, guys. I tried. I tried to watch football this year. I don't mean American football. I mean, like, football. I tried. I think it was, what game was it? Fuck. I watched one game start to finish, and I'm like, I'm fucking good. I don't know how this is the talent, the game is awesome. The acting and the crybaby fake bullshit, dude, I was getting pissed. How that shit isn't illegal? Faking injuries? It being tactic to distract? Fuck that. That shit completely pulled me out so hard. I don't know how anybody gets into that. What game was it that I watched that? I forgot what it was, man. The fact... Wow, right there. Right there. I felt every ounce of that suspension movement. That was legit. Real life, that probably would have completely cooked that suspension on that front right, but I just did it. I just said cooked. Oh no! We got it. Like, it's hysterical to me that football looks like that with the acting and the injuries, and rugby simultaneously exists. Like, how do you put on that show and have a beer with a rugby player? How? And it sucks because, like, the talent that goes with it is incredible. Like, it's a hell of a game. But the bullshit, I'm good. Like, look at hockey, for Christ's sake. That is the real question. How do they share a beer with a rugby player? Like, the actual contacts that I've seen in rugby, I'm like, yo, those dudes just died right there. That guy's not getting back up. And they bounce right back up and keep on going. And then these football players get, like, phantom limb syndrome. Or maybe, like, you know, a ladybug hits their knee mid-sprint. And they're down for the count. Not the UAE flag? Oh, it's pussy shit. I wouldn't even say it's pussy shit. It's just the way they act is pussy shit. Like, it reminds me of The Boy Who Cried Wolf. You won't last in soccer. I remember years ago that Zidane guy or whatever. He was done. He was retiring, and he just straight up headbutts a dude. I'm like, you know, that guy was holding on to that for a long time. All the times people complained about fake injuries. Here, let me give you a real one. Let me wind up and put my entire spine into this headbutt and put you to the ground. That was a long time ago. I want to say there's, it's green, red, and black, the flag, Maxi. Gave you a little courtesy there, Vader. Drag race time. Oh! Oh! Where's my courtesy? Oh boy, what a race! What a race! I won that game of chicken. Oh, you son of a bitch! No. What a bum. What a bum. What a bum. What a bum. Kyle bushed me, yeah. I appreciate that, Threadline. My best advice for this game, if you're interested in it, is try it out and be patient. There's the flag. Black, red, green. It very much could be Portugal. Let me just look it up. Nope. Theirs is just green and red. Afghanistan. National flag of Afghanistan. You know, potentially towing the line on racism here, but
That's a solid result, mate.
national flag of Afghanistan does insinuate potential hacking to me. I'm just saying. I don't know if that leans into racism or more joke, but at first I saw the hacking from oil slick. I was like, probably not. And now Afghan flag, oh, maybe it is. I don't know, Threadline. That's the thing. This is a new bug that showed up with this update. All the American flags, except for me, are... and it's just the Afghanistan flag. See? American again. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody with that flag is American. It's so weird. Like I'm saying, double reverse right now? Like, these bugs are so random. Like, they can be frustrating, but at the same... Oh, what cars you guys want to do, by the way? I got a couple more in me. Let's jump back on Sebring. I'm going to stick to the Super V8. But we can I can add multiple cars if you guys want. Switch it up. Get the GT3s back in here and the GT4s because I know people want to drive those, and those are the Me Too cars. There you go. You got choices, boys. GT3 and GT4 have been added. I can add LMDH too, although I don't know if we have the players to drive them right now, but I'll add them. There you go. I'm gonna go to the bathroom quick. I'm curious if the Holden... It does! It, too, has the double downshift. I'm gonna upshift. Ready? Watch. You hear the audible click of going up a gear, and I'm in reverse still. Now it goes into neutral. I think every car in the game has this same bug. Watch. Neutral. Listen to the mechanical sequence. Downshift. Downshift. Upshift. 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 Some random ass bugs, man. Anybody seen Spider-Man yet, by the way? I'm anxious. I want to go see it. I'm seeing it. I got tickets for tomorrow night. Well, technically tonight. Technically Friday now, but... Oh, there's a surprise. Seaberg left. Man always wants to race on Sebring and never actually makes a lap. I very much look forward to comparing this car to AMS2's Commodore. Very much look forward to it. Because I don't know which one I like more, honestly. I objectively like the suspension in this car, but it's the whole game that I like the suspension in PMR better than AMS2, because AMS2 doesn't have suspension. But that car drive good in AMS2. It makes me want to try him in iRacing, but I have the feeling iRacing will make me hate these cars. Technical difficulties. Is it with your motion or your pit house? Oh, brakes too hard. Oh god, oh god. I done fucked it. Wake up and come back out. Make that money. Make that money so you can build that computer. Oh, shit. GT3 braking zone. Ah! I'm sure money's not the issue. I'm sure. I'm just saying, it's a viable excuse for the wife. I worked all this time, I made all this money, I need to give myself a reward. Hun, I'm gonna buy or build a computer. My wife lets me do whatever I want with the money I make. She just absolutely side-eye and judges the fuck out of me in the process. And that to me is worse than saying no. You work? Oh, so I thought the Disney addiction was the kids. It's her? Oh, you tried native triples? Yeah, dude, for what it's worth, this seems to be... I mean, I know it's in the alpha stage, which they didn't not say that. But, yeah, it does seem like there's a lot of triple users having issues. Seems to be a very specific configuration that works. That's funny. That is funny, Slick. What's her favorite Disney movie? If it's not Lion King, then with all due respect, I don't like her. Lion King's the greatest Disney movie ever made. To this day, I still cheer when Simba climbs Pride Rock. I still feel like I won the fight that I wasn't in. Little get the fuck out. Little Mermaid. God. Bury, you son of a bitch. I wish I had the Arnold quote right there. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that, but I forgot, Berg. It only works with TAA. It does not work with FSR or DLSS yet. See, like, the I feel like this is where they need to be a little bit more, like, descriptive in their instructions. They need to say all the parameters you need to run. Like, is that something that's really nice about, say, Simagic? Shout out Simagic. Why not? There's a little plug. All of their software has instructions for setting up every single game. Settings, wheelbase, telemetry, everything. It's dummy proof. I think PMR kind of needs to do that. Or Straight 4, I should say. PMR's a game, not a studio. I do miss OG Disney, though. Something about Disney, though. They got it locked in on being able to make a literal all-audience movie. That it doesn't matter how old you are. They'll tell adult jokes and hide them behind, like, child-approved humor. You know? Kids won't get it, and it won't matter because it's not obvious. Adults will get it in the background. You know? Man says Little Mermaid. All the cars in this game right now are super over-caffeinated. Oh, Slide Boys get the 1 LMDH. Yeah, I will say, in all of the game developers' defense, Thrustmaster's a difficult company to work with. But I would say within time, stuff like that will make its way. You know, it really, here's the thing. I don't know why. I'm gonna keep saying it until it's a thing. Factory driver program needs to come back. 100% needs to come back. Oh! I thought you were going to smoke the barrier right there.
Nice driving. You grabbed P2. We're on the front row of the race. We can get them into the first corner.
Oh yeah, here's the poll. I forgot all about that. And I got 98 votes in. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is why it is so important to, like, not just write off an opinion. So, like, right now, the GT3s are divided in terms of the sentiment, right? Were they too fast? Were they just right? Because that's been the argument. They were just right before, or they were too fast before. Me, personally, I'm on the side of I thought they were too fast. Mainly because of myself. If I go to Sebring in the same car in every sim, I'm like 3 to 4 seconds faster in PMR. Now, maybe some of that's because I play it the most, but a lot of my lines and a lot of my comparison numbers are comparably executed, and I'm just that much faster. But anyway, regardless of my opinion, it doesn't matter. This is why it's important to not write off a single opinion. Look at this poll. Look at this poll. 99 votes rolled in. 43% of the votes say they were too fast. 42% of the votes say they were just right. And 50% says they were too slow. I don't know who voted that the GT3s are too slow, but sure. Maybe they misunderstood it and they thought right now they're too slow. But either way, that's how divided the player base is. So that alone right there, I guarantee you, people who think they were terrible or they were too fast before or they were just right before will never see, they will never compromise. And they will just, I'm right, no, you're wrong, no, I'm right, you're wrong, blah, 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 back and forth the whole time. Also, this counter doesn't make any sense. Why is it a minute wait time in between sessions? That's a good point, Vader. That means it's pretty close to right. Maybe splitting the difference is the right move. You know? But here's the thing. It needs to be done in a way where it can't be abused. Because on Sebring, like, if you looked at the factory driver challenge, the top, like, 100 times were all faster than real life times. Maybe not 100. I want to say at least 50, though. That shouldn't be a thing. And the fastest time in the game was substantially faster than the fastest recorded real time. That, to me, is... What the fuck is this? This poor bastard in this T8. I'm telling you, the starting grid's jacked up. Starting grid is jacked up.
Focus on the lights. We can take them into the first corner.
Maybe that's the way to launch the car. This car doesn't like coming off the throttle completely once you frag the tires. So maybe you do want to kind of spin a little bit through the tires the whole time. Just not at full lock. Because that was a fairly decent launch compared to the rest of the V8 pack. It could, it could very much be track limits factoring into lap times. We all know how temperamental those are in this game. Either way, I don't have a solution. I'm just talking about how you can't write off one side of that opinion as right or wrong when it's that divided right down the middle. It's not, like I said before, it's not a 2 + 2 = 4 debate and versus 5 where one is objectively wrong, you know. This is your player base. If 100%, for example, this is in my opinion, if 100% of your player base agrees that something should be different, you should change it. Best case scenario, if your ego's in the way and you know that 100% of the player base is wrong and you think you're right, give them what they want and show them they're wrong. But at the end of the day, if 100% of your player base votes on a certain thing, that's what you give them. I tell people all the time in the bike scene, because I'm the business guy, listen, I'll do what you want, but I can't wait to say I told you so when I'm right. Because guess what? That I told you so feels so goddamn good. Throw a little flair on it. Just judge them. Judge the shit out of them for not listening to you. Ah! That was a decent lap, too. Oh, well. Blocked him up. That was easily headed for... That was almost for a 203 right there. Son of a bitch. That sucked. Oh shit! My bad. Didn't even... Dude, I'm telling you, the my wheel blocks... I have the radar in a good spot for when I'm using my track wheel. But, not when I'm using the round wheel. I did not see him on my radar at all when he was right there. I'm gonna have to relocate the radar to the corner of my screen. I will say that the current state of this game, being someone who has it on both PS5 and PC, it's starting to feel more like a PC game. You can kind of see there's a little bit more focus on the PC side. Me personally, I'm not against that because it benefits me. My driving doesn't though. But most of the players are on console. So no matter how great the game is for me if no one's playing. Like the lighting, the nighttime lighting, I don't think it changed a whole lot, if at all, on console. But it's quite a bit more buffed and visible on PC.
Final lap, mate. No mistakes. Keep it clean and tidy.
I'll keep you clean and tight. What? I gotta pull a little brake pressure out of this car. Fuck me! For some reason in my head right there, I was in first gear. Alright, in my head I thought I was in second gear. I was in first gear. Fuck me in the rat hole. You're welcome, Vader. Idiot. What don't you like about it? Too slow or too fast?
Fuel's low, mate. Box this lap. Box this lap.
I went quite a bit slower than I had. I can't believe I had that 203 locked in. Slow? Alright, I got one more good race in me. Yeah, I like the Mustang, Vader. I provided all of my own personal feedback with the Mustang to GT3. Nothing from any of the other cars. But I like the way the Mustang drives. I like the loose rear end of the car. Now, Furry's an Afghan? Oh, he is. Furry's the Afghan. That's such a random ass bug. Such a random ass bug. I don't know what's more like what? WUT? The flags? Or the double reverse. The good thing, though, is you can... this hasn't even been talked about, but the good thing is you can see everybody's name now. You know? Player, PS5, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's so weird. Why is the Afghan flag just randomly taken over? Why does this shit take so much longer now? Why is this a thing? All right, P1 of 2. Of 2 whole people. Whatever. All right. Last one for me. I'm going to go back to the GT3. Actually, let's not do it that way. Let's do it. P1 of 1. Hell yeah. Undefeated. No, I know. Since the last one, I'm going to get most people to want to rage quit. No quality, just straight up catch an L. Or W. Do a nice autumn-looking race. Visually good-looking race. I wonder how many people are going to be like, nope, never mind. Oh, yeah, because there's no join in progress in this. This is race only. So that actually does do a countdown here. Focus up for this one. Two laps. You get a mulligan lap and then the full send. Leave it on the track lap. We're going to blast this song. Last one. Let's focus up. No! My first ever Lua crash. I've never had a Lua crash on my end before. Unbelievable. I'm gonna restart my game. I'm still gonna try and do the race. I've never seen a Lua crash on my end before. That's the first time. Hey, here's Trev's screenshot. Or, sorry, Nico's screenshot. Don't do this, PMR. I know. Come on, hotfix. Come on, hotfix. So many new bugs. Like crashes and not even a lot of crashes, but that's a crash I've never ever seen before in this game. Oh, wrong one. All right, lobby's back up.
Stop it!
Every time I get like an error like that, look at what is this? Is that your actual commanded flag though, Berg? Or is that the bug? That's one of these moments.
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine!
I'll give it 30 seconds more or so, see if anybody else joins up, but... What a joke. Ugh. That kills me. That fucking kills me. If it crashes this time, I'm going to bed. Is that the flag you have commanded in the game, Berg? Or is that an error? Okay. Well, you said yes to a two-part question, but sure. Ah, Cape Verde. Got it. Cape Verdean. Bro, I gotta go to bed. I gotta tune more bikes tomorrow. Got guys coming over in the morning again. I shouldn't have even streamed tonight. I was like, ah, screw it. I might as well. Might have a little fun. Last night I was just in a poor mood, and the bugs did a little 1-2 punch between my mood and the game. Alright, now I can see my radar. So... don't worry, I won't ignore my radar and bump you.
Okay, mate, you can do this. Let's stay out of trouble in the first few corners. No heroics out there.
I just realized I'm the host and I wasn't put in poll. So that doesn't happen anymore. Interesting. He is... Woo-hoo-hoo! Holy moly! Wow! Vader, that was a hell of a crash. Ho 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 ho! Seaberg left. He rage quit. Oh. Fucking, I'm golfing. This is definitely the loosest Mustang experience I've had on Nord so far in this game. The rear of the car is very loose. I don't necessarily mind it, but it is, it does require some favoring, that's for damn sure. But it does drive like a Mustang as well. I braked way too early there because I was looking at my my dash there, my pages. See how much fuel I had. I feel like the audio cues, the downshifts for this car got a bit of a buff. It's a lot. I don't know why. It seems a lot snappier, the audio for the downshift. Maybe it's in my head. I think the force feedback is phenomenal in PMR. I always have. I plan on doing probably my Monday stream is going to be comparing GT3s in ACC versus GT3s in PMR. Now, I am going to compare car to car as best I can, in my own opinion. So... force feedback in this game is way better than ACC's. It really is just going to come down to the overall driving experience, though. Because I can adapt to different force feedback. Even if I think a certain game's force feedback is better, I can adapt to an inferior force feedback and still enjoy myself. A lot of guys will, like, if force feedback isn't the most perfect, best, greatest thing on the planet, they'll never play the game. I am much less picky about my force feedback when it comes to that. I have my preferences, for sure, but I can tolerate shitty force feedback if I'm having fun. Ah! Oh, Jesus. You're not kidding, Cool Mods. You got the PS4 of graphics cards. Oh! Almost lost it. Agreed on the force feedback being relative. It's the most subjective conversation that people always like to be like, no, this is better, no, this is better, no, this is better. And it's purely preference, you know? I've heard a lot of negative force feedback about force feedback in this game from Thrustmaster users. So I don't know what you have for a wheelbase, but if you have a Thrustmaster, you might not like it. I have an RS50 and then my Simagic here. Simagic is gangster. Whoa! Almost lost it. But I got my RS50 pretty comfortable. The only time I don't like my RS50 is when I get fresh off of this one, and then I jump on my RS50. But if I spend 20 minutes on the RS50, I adapt to it, and I'm enjoying it. How are my tires doing? They're still good. In fact, I barely touched the tires. I feel like I'm overdriving the hell out of this car right now. This is what I don't understand. This is the part of the conversation that I didn't get about people killing their tires inside of like 2 laps on short tracks. I'm on my 2nd lap of Nords, right? Look at my tires. They're like untouched. Unless that's a bug. Quite possible. And the tires are just not taking abuse right now. But like, no, there's wear. I can see them in the rear. There's barely any wear. Temperatures are solid. Like, car's driving pretty consistently. 2nd lap of Nords. And I'm definitely overdriving the car right now. I'm trying to read comments here while I rip and tear, as Doom Guy would say. Well, this and AMS2 are my favorite driving experiences. AMS2 is probably my favorite overall sim because it feels more complete. This has potential to be my absolute overall favorite sim, but time will tell. Compared to this game's GT1 content and the recent expansion of the 05 GT1 and AMS2, which okay, got it. GT 05 GT / GT1, I prefer PMR through and through. Through and through. It's honestly kind of like a clean sweep. Although, GT1s feel a ton better now with the tire model change in AMS2. But this game, quite a bit. 701. Damn, what a turd of a lap. What a turd of a lap. These cars are... I do think there's a middle ground, if I'm being honest with you. Between where they were and where they are now, in terms of lap times. Because my driving was average there, but to not even go sub-sevens right now... For reference, Furry went 720 and he probably crashed. For reference, I could do high 630s, low 640s previously. I lost a lot of time. Lost a lot of time. But that being said, don't touch these cars until the game is my opinion. Byron, my personal opinion is that this is my favorite driving game. It is currently, in my opinion, the most incomplete simulator. But I play this game because of the driving. It's my favorite driving experience. You've yet to get a lot. Stop getting those track limits. That's my last race, folks. I'm tired. Little 4-hour stream here. Didn't plan on going. I was only going to go like 2 hours tonight. That's what happens when you have a good time. Are you on console or PC? I bought this game. I pre-ordered this game. Uncanny. I've had this game since like October. I've been riding the wave. Playing it. I'm a big AMS2 fan, but I like the driving in this better. Morning, Ibrahim. I'm about to get off, but I need to get some rest. Man, another long day tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming again from my shop tomorrow, garage. Yeah, join in progress works well. I'm glad the join in progress works well. Yeah, a bunch of random-ass bugs came along with the update. But at least they're small, non-game breaking bugs. I was worried join in progress was going to be broken as shit on the landing. Yeah, jump in. Give it time. If you're worried about it, just wait. You know, wait for the next Steam sale or however. You know, I'm sure it'll go on sale again at some point. It's not cut, it's in the game. They had to, it's a license. AI doesn't know what to do when it runs out of gas. It crashes. I don't know why this is something that changed with this update. Sitting in this lobby. The race is over. Everyone's crossed the finish line. Why is it taking this long to get out of the race? Anyway, and then there's this. Just end the session. This is what I mean by incomplete. I can force close it, but I think I'm gonna force close because I don't give a shit. Anyway, this is my time in the game on PC. Just under 800 hours, but I have 100 hours on PS5 as well. I haven't turned 1,000 hours yet, but we're getting there. Anyway, JP1 and JP2 was a licensing issues. They renamed them, and they're back in the game. JP1 and JP2. The JGTCs are the JP2s now. Look at that shot I got tonight of a broken car on track. Good visual. Anyway, that's it for me, folks. I'm done. I'm exhausted. I need to get some sleep. If you guys haven't subscribed and you want to, I'm going to be doing a lot more content comparing Sims, especially next week. This game to ACC, AMS2 for the Super V8 cars, the Commodore. Be comparing those. Hopefully we get a hot fix soon to fix a lot of the bugs that got introduced with this update. Well, I think we got at least 3 years with the game, so in terms of development, so we'll see. Yeah, there's a server up that's broken for me, Miguel. So don't just ignore it. I'm done though for the night. I'm ready for bed. That being said, tomorrow during the shop when I'm tuning bikes, I will be doing another motorcycle live stream. And then maybe tomorrow night, if I have the energy, if I get rest, I will be doing this again. We'll see. No promises. Until then, folks, I hope you all have a good rest of your night, day, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you in the mañana. Peace.